So let's start with the leadership styles in 2015 and today. So in 2015, your strengths fell into three of the four zones: relating zone, which is blue, acting zone, which is orange, thinking zone, which is green. That creates what we call a servant leader, someone who leads by example, pulls up their sleeves, works side by side, builds trust, builds loyalty, focuses on getting things done with others. Now, when we look at 2023, we see that the leadership style here is called a SAGE. Those include relating strengths and thinking strengths. Think of this role as the trusted advisor, the counselor, exactly what a SAGE is. And look at the dominance in your thinking strengths, and we'll unpack those in just a little bit. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see I put your 6 through 10 strengths from the 2023, and that'll be a footnote in our conversation. When we look at 2015, your dominant strength is the puzzle-solving strength, the optimizing strength, the looking at all the pieces and how they fit together, scenario planning. Responsibility is the work ethic, loyalty, reliability, and in many ways, it is the servant leader strength. Then you've got relator. Responsibility and relator are very similar in that they both form deep bonds and they have instincts around character traits. Responsibility around loyalty and reliability, and relator around genuineness and trust. Then restorative. That's a turnaround strength. That strength provides a lot of capacity for fixing things that are broken and making them whole again. Then we round out these 5 strengths with futuristic, which is that 30,000-foot view, visionary, optimistic, and looking for the new frontier. Now, let's move over to 2023. It's very interesting to me that the top strength of individualization is wired around finding the right talent and the right place for that talent. It is the best team building, talent recruiting strength. It also complements responsibility and relator. Individualization looks at people through their talent lens. Are they a good fit or not? Responsibility looks at people through their work ethic lens. Are they reliable or not? And relator looks at people through their genuineness or not. Now, it's interesting to me that if we go up in your 6 through 10, belief and relator are very similar. They both have rules around individual conduct and character. Belief is more black and white than relator, but they both operate on rules of reciprocity. And then we see responsibility is right in that top 10 as well. Now, with individualization, the cousin of relator, which is belief, and responsibility, you have highly tuned instincts around talent, character, and work ethic when you're putting teams together. We see number 2 is a ranger, and that's very high. It was number 1 in 2015, and it's still that optimizing puzzle piece. But now you have a much broader range of looking at scenarios, context, that looking at what's worked in the past, learning from lessons, avoiding mistakes. And whenever I see context, I can't help but asking if History Channel is a favorite channel or history books. You had futuristic as number 5 in 2015, and futuristic is the opposite side of context. While context looks at the past to learn lessons to move forward, futuristic is already moving forward. So it's an incredible complement. So strategic as number 5 is that gut level instinct is what is the right course, what is the end game we're looking for, the ability to work through the clutter, do it very quickly, and it can pivot and move in a different direction in real time. Think of strategic like an audible quarterback, like a Peyton Manning. Now, if we look at 6 through 10, you'll see a very different color mix here. And the leadership archetype that has this mix of colors, the acting strengths, the relating strengths, and the motivating strengths, those are red, that's called an energizer. So behind all this thought and this reflection and strategic thought process is this high octane, high energy set of strengths. And when we look at belief and responsibility underneath there, that's a very strong expectation that people operate with a code of behavior. And if that code of behavior gets violated, they may not get fired, but they certainly get moved outside your circle of trust. When we look at competition, activator, and maximizer, that is where the high octane comes. Competition is that gut level understanding of, can we win or not? What will it take to win? And are we on pace to win? It's instinctive real time. So for example, if you run into a situation where one of the division presidents is wrestling through an opportunity or a pursuit and your gut says, cut your losses, this is not worth the time, it's probably a pretty good instinct. When you add that winner's drive with the catalyst of activator, that's a very strong force. And then when you add number 10, maximizer, that's that good to great. And it's interesting to me, it's the exact opposite of restorative. So instead of coming in and turning things around with restorative, maximizer is good to great. How do we take where we are and drive ourselves to excellence? I hope this little overview is insightful for you. If you've got any questions, please reach out to me. And you've got my curiosity on what is the life story behind 2015 to 2023 that illustrates this change. And here's the underlying principle and why the Clifton Strengths are so valuable. When we go through change over time, especially dramatic change, in the last couple of years through the pandemic, a lot of people have gone through very dramatic changes. Our brains adapt. So our brains are different. Now, what the Clifton Strengths measure is what your brain naturally does best and enjoy most. So as your brain adapts and changes, it'll register different things. Now, under stable conditions, in other words, our role doesn't change much and the world doesn't change much, we can expect some change, but not dramatic change. Your changes are very dramatic. So I'm eager to hear more about it. Again, if you have any questions, reach out. Take care.